The warning. The massive hologram flickered above every major city on Earth simultaneously. The being that appeared was tall and elegant, with crystalline features that seemed to shift like flowing mercury. High Chancellor Zenith of the Galactic Council spoke with a voice that resonated in multiple frequencies. People of Earth, your planet has been classified as a Class 3 developing world, unsuitable for full galactic citizenship. Your technological advancement has been deemed too erratic, and your species too volatile for unrestricted space travel. You have 30 standard cycles to submit to Council authority and begin the integration process. Resistance will result in immediate containment measures. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the United Nations emergency session, her weathered face illuminated by the tactical displays. 20 years leading the Pan-Pacific Defense Force had prepared her for many things, but not this. The room erupted in chaos as representatives argued about submission versus resistance. "We have confirmation," she announced, silencing the chamber. "The Council has positioned containment fleets at all major Lagrange points. Their technology appears to be at least 3 generations beyond our most advanced systems." Director Marcus Webb of the Global Science Initiative stepped forward. "Perhaps 3 generations beyond our public systems," he said quietly, nodding to Admiral Chen. "But not necessarily beyond everything." The room grew still as Webb activated his secure tablet. "For the past 15 years, we've been reverse engineering technology from the Ganymede incident. We knew we weren't alone, and we've been preparing. Project Oracle isn't just theoretical anymore." Images appeared showing massive underground facilities across multiple continents. "We have working prototypes combining their quantum mechanics with human innovation. We're not as helpless as they think." Admiral Chen's eyes narrowed as she studied the schematics. "How long to full deployment?" 6 months minimum," Webb replied, "if we can keep them talking." "Then we better be very diplomatic," Chen said, turning to address the assembly, "while we build our surprise." Project Phoenix. The Ganymede Research Facility stretched 3 kilometers beneath the lunar surface, its vast chambers humming with activity. Dr. Aisha Patel stood before the quantum interface matrix, her creation that married human neural networks with recovered alien technology. The holographic display showed test results that would have been impossible 6 months ago. The breakthrough wasn't in copying their tech, she explained to the gathered military leaders. It was in understanding how they think we think. They assume linear progression, but humanity has always excelled at lateral solutions. Colonel James Martinez, head of special projects, stepped closer to examine the readings. "You're saying we can bypass their quantum encryption because we're using it wrong?" A smile played at the corners of his mouth. "Exactly," Aisha replied, her eyes bright with excitement. "They built safeguards against advanced users, but not against what they'd consider primitive approaches. We're reaching the same destination by a completely different path." The prototype vessel hung in the chamber beyond the observation window. Unlike the sleek, crystalline designs of Council ships, the human craft was an aggressive blend of angular plates and exposed power conduits. Where Council ships relied on pure energy manipulation, the Earth vessels incorporated physical armor and hybrid systems. "Council ships are perfect," Martinez observed, "and that's their weakness. They don't account for imperfect solutions that work anyway. That's humanity's specialty." Admiral Chen entered the chamber, accompanied by Director Webb and a team of global military leaders. "The Council's patience is wearing thin," she announced. "Their ambassador made it clear they consider our diplomatic responses primitively evasive." "Good," Aisha said, bringing up another display, "because we've completed the neural interface testing. Project Phoenix isn't just viable, it's ready. And they won't see it coming because they literally can't imagine how we've done it." The Admiral studied the assembled prototypes. 30 ships, each carrying technology that would redefine warfare. Not by matching the Council's advancement, but by approaching combat from an angle they'd never considered. "Begin final preparations," Chen ordered. "We launch in 3 days." The Hidden Fleet. The Council's deadline arrived with theatrical precision. High Chancellor Zenith's hologram materialized above Earth's major cities once again, his crystalline features arranged in what passed for disappointment among his kind. Your continued resistance to proper governance is both futile and tiresome, he announced. The containment fleet will now begin the integration process. Resistance will only increase civilian casualties. Massive Council warships descended through Earth's atmosphere, their crystalline hulls refracting sunlight in dazzling patterns. They positioned themselves above strategic locations, military bases, government centers, and major population hubs. In her command center beneath Mount Cheyenne, Admiral Chen watched the deployment with calculated patience. Status of Phoenix Squadron. All 30 vessels showing green, Colonel Martinez reported. Neural interfaces synchronize, hybrid drives nominal. Dr. Patel's quantum masking is holding. They have no idea we're here. Chen nodded, her finger hovering over the command interface. Initiate Operation Blindside. Deep within underground bases across the globe, launch bays opened. But instead of conventional missiles or fighters, nothing seemed to emerge. The Council ship's sensors registered only minor power fluctuations, dismissed as primitive Earth technology attempting to activate defenses. They never saw Phoenix Squadron coming. The first indication something was wrong came when the Council flagship shields suddenly failed. Not from an attack. They simply stopped existing. Dr. Patel's quantum interface technology didn't try to overpower the advanced alien defenses. Instead, it convinced them they had already succeeded in their purpose and could shut down. Impossible. Zenith's voice boomed across the command channel as reports flooded in. Human ships appeared seemingly from nowhere, their hybrid technology operating in ways that defied Council understanding. They hadn't built better ships. They'd built different ones. Where Council vessels relied on pure energy manipulation, Phoenix Squadron combined physical weapons with quantum effects. When Council shields adapted to energy attacks, they faced kinetic projectiles guided by quantum targeting. When they adjusted to physical threats, they met phase-shifted energy beams that their sensors insisted couldn't exist. This is Admiral Chen to all Council forces. She broadcast on all frequencies. Your containment fleet is now surrounded by weapons you cannot detect using methods you cannot predict. Withdraw immediately, or we will demonstrate exactly why humanity's primitive approach to problem-solving makes us so dangerous. For the first time in recorded history, a Council fleet commander faced a tactical situation their advanced probability computers couldn't analyze. The humans weren't fighting according to any known doctrine. They were improvising, adapting, combining technologies in ways that should be inefficient or impossible. And they were winning. The Battle of Terra. High Chancellor Zenith's response came in the form of a massive reinforcement fleet dropping out of hyperspace. Over 300 Council vessels, their crystalline hulls forming a sphere around Earth's orbital space. Your clever deceptions cannot overcome superior numbers, Zenith announced. Surrender now, and we may still consider a diplomatic solution. In the command center, Dr. Patel smiled as she monitored the quantum interface readings. They still don't understand. They think we're trying to beat them at their own game. Admiral Chen nodded. Then let's show them our game. Execute pattern chaos. Phoenix Squadron split into seemingly random groups, each adopting different tactical approaches. Some vessels appeared to malfunction, tumbling through space, until their erratic movements carried them through gaps in Council formation that shouldn't have existed. Others deliberately broadcast conflicting energy signatures, appearing as everything from space debris to Council ships to nothing at all. They're trying to establish a standard containment grid, Martins reported, watching the Council fleet's movements. Just like we predicted, they can't help following their tactical protocols. The Council fleet's perfect formation became its weakness. Their ships moved with precise coordination, each vessel calculating its position to maintain optimal coverage. But Phoenix Squadron wasn't playing by those rules. Human vessels deliberately created gaps in their own formation, gaps that Council doctrine said couldn't be exploited. When Council ships moved to take advantage of these apparent weaknesses, they found themselves isolated and vulnerable to attacks from angles their combat computers had dismissed as tactically unsound. "Status of Project Ripple?" Chen asked, watching the battle unfold. "Quantum resonance fields are synchronized," Paddle reported. "Ready on your command." Chen took a deep breath. This was the moment that would determine humanity's future. Initiate. Across the battlefield, Phoenix Squadron activated their quantum resonance generators simultaneously. Each ship produced a different frequency, overlapping and intersecting in what appeared to be a chaotic pattern. Council sensors registered the energy spike, but couldn't determine its purpose. The frequencies seemed random, inefficient. That was exactly the point. The overlapping quantum fields created a cascading effect that rippled through space-time itself. Council ships found their perfect formation working against them as the resonance spread from vessel to vessel through their own synchronized shields. Systems that should have been impervious to primitive human technology began to falter. "Impossible," Zenith's voice cracked across the command channel. "You cannot have mastered quantum field manipulation to this degree. Your species is too young, too unadvanced." "We didn't master it," Chen replied. "We just found a different way to use it. That's what you never understood about humanity. We don't follow the expected path of advancement. We create our own." A new understanding. The quantum resonance cascade had left 2/3 of the Council fleet powerless, their perfect systems overwhelmed by deliberately imperfect human tactics. The remaining ships maintained formation, but their commanders were experiencing something few Council species had ever faced: uncertainty. High Chancellor Zenith's hologram appeared in the command center, no longer projecting above Earth's cities, but addressing Earth's leaders directly. His crystalline features had lost their fluid grace, frozen in an expression that might have been confusion, or perhaps revelation. "You could have destroyed our entire fleet," he stated, studying the humans before him. "Your quantum resonance weapon had us completely vulnerable, yet you stopped." Admiral Chen stepped forward. "Destruction wasn't our goal, Chancellor. We just needed you to listen." By demonstrating superior tactical capability, there was something new in Zenith's voice: curiosity. Dr. Patel joined Chen at the conference table. "Not superior," she corrected. "Different. Your civilization advanced along a perfect logical path, each discovery building on the last in optimal sequence. But humanity, we stumble forward. We try things that shouldn't work. We combine technologies in ways that seem inefficient, and sometimes that leads us to solutions no one else would consider. Like using quantum fields to create deliberate interference patterns," Zenith mused, "or combining physical and energy weapons when either alone would be more efficient. Your entire strategy violated basic principles of tactical doctrine." "That was the point," Martinez added. "You couldn't predict our actions because we weren't trying to match your advancement level. We took our own path." The chamber fell silent as Zenith processed this. His crystalline form shifted, adopting a configuration that none of the humans had seen before. "The Council has existed for 50,000 years, he finally said. "In all that time, we have guided younger species toward what we considered proper development. But perhaps we have become too fixed in our understanding of proper." Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Are you proposing a different kind of relationship?" "The Council decrees," Zenith began formally, then stopped. His form shifted again. "No. Let us instead say, the Council requests diplomatic discussions with Earth, not as a protectorate, but as a potential ally. Your unique perspective could be valuable to the galaxy." "We'd be happy to talk," Chen replied. "Though you might find our diplomatic approaches as unconventional as our military ones." "I begin to think," Zenith said, his crystalline features flowing into what might have been a smile, "that unconventional is exactly what the Council needs." In the months that followed, Earth began sharing its innovative technologies with the Council, while gaining access to the advanced sciences they developed. But more importantly, they shared their way of thinking. the human tendency to try the impossible, to take unexpected paths, to find solutions in chaos. The galaxy, it seemed, had been waiting for someone to show that perfection wasn't the only path to the stars. The end.